just a moment. I do apologize for the delay. Hello and welcome. If you're new with me, welcome. For those of you returning, welcome back. I am Galabe, and this is Breaking the Monolith. So, in this series, we have been taking a look at some real world applications that I have designed and wrote over the course of 3 years. And they were built in a very monolithic way. They were large applications that were standalone, that were good in initial design, but as the application grew, as the project grew, everything became a little too, it became a little more out of control. Hard to maintain, hard to update, hard to keep up with a team. I now have a team. I have a team that's working with me now, but that wasn't when I initially designed this. So it's very hard to scale. It's very hard to maintain at a large scale, and it's as right now. I'm not even launched, and um, it's at an unmaintainable scale. So my goal here is to try and break it down to microservices and make it something that's more maintainable, more doable for day-to-day maintenance, more doable for future upgrades, and just all around um, looking to make it a better a better place to a better place to work, a better place to a better place just a better place overall. Like it's not that it's written bad or not that it's bad. It's well, some of it's written bad, um, but it's more of when more people are trying to work on the back end, it's going to be very hard for a team of people to be able to work. Um, Whereas when this is broken down into smaller applications, because let's face it, microservices are essentially just miniature applications that run inside of a giant monolithic idea. Um, so yeah, it when we break this down, it becomes more maintainable because it's more achievable by a team to be able to do this. Whereas a solo project, smaller applications are not necessarily needing the monolith, not necessarily needing the architecture of microservices, but where something like our game server, um, there's a lot of communications that go back and forth. There's a lot of services that happen, and now I'm starting to ramble. But microservice architecture is what we're going for. We are going to be. I did in the last video say that this one was going to be um, targeted to introduce Kafka. However, I realized that there are two more services that we do not have up and running that I need up and running before my essential launch. Um, and that is I have a skill tree network, so I can send the players skill trees information back to my database, and a quest network. The quest network just keeps track of the players' the quests that the players have completed inside of my game, because there are 5 quests that people can adventure through. So we need to design a couple of more clients, a Boneyard skill client and a Boneyard quest client, so that we can pass request this information um, from the back end. So we're going to take a look at our quest network first. We'll build the front end of it, the end that the game server is going to use, and then we'll build the back end that is going to be a microservice that we'll add in. We'll build a new module. We'll make it request services, and we will build up that database. Now, get my code up and going there. Will slip me up in the upper corner here so you can see me up here. Look, whoa, I'm up here. Hi, how are you? Let's go. So, inside here, we have our player information, so to speak, some of the player information. Now, oh sorry, this is our microservices, and we'll have the different services listed through here as we go. Now, I'm going to have to create a new service for player skill and player quest. So, just setting up a few defaults here. We're going to go ahead and we want to be able to set this up as a Spring initializer project, or the Spring project through the Spring initializer. We can do this either through IntelliJ or through start.spring.io. I just happen to prefer my IDE because I like being in my IDE. Now we want to make sure we say that it is a Java project. We're going to use the Maven language, and we're actually going to use we're using 21 right now for this, so we're going to set this to 21. Want it to be a jar, not a war. Make jar, not war. Actually, oh yeah. Now, there's nothing we need to take in additionally here. Whoop. 3.21. Okay, I guess it's the one that we're stuck with. But now, you'll see I should have made this the other way around. Fuck me. Okay, so we'll get rid of that. Get rid of that. Where'd the help? Yeah. Maven file. Git ignore. Change up this to 1.1. believe that's 89 now that I'm on. Mm-hmm. Right. So I've just more or less went through and just created um, the project so that it's going to be the similar, yeah, somewhat similar. Um, are going to make this quest. Um, yeah, we are going to define this here as quest. Um, yeah. Okay. Okay. So this is going to be for our controllers, our data, and our services. Okay. So we're just taking a look here on our existing monolith here to see what it is that we are um, looking to grab. So we have the class controller, the quest, the DTO, and the service, as well as the repository. So these are going to be the files that we're looking to copy over to our new service and make them work as appropriate, as applicable. Um, mm-hmm. All right, so we're going to sort of rebuild this over in our new service. So we'll start it with a controller. No, we'll start with data. So new, it's going to be a JPA entry. This one here we're going to be calling quest. Okay. Good enough. Now this just more or less generated a data. Ah, love it, love it, love it. All right. Now, some of the other stuff that we're looking for here is we're going to be making a back reference. This is going to be a private string. This is going to be a player hash. The player hash, and this is a JSON back reference. That's just something that we can use later to trace it back. Next, we're going to need to make private string quest name, private string quest stage, and then a private int or integer, which will be the quest progression. Alright, and that is it for this. Next, we are going to generate a data transfer object, mutable, nothing. We want it to take all of these. And we're going to go ahead and create that quest DTO. I'm not too worried about the shape of this, because it is just data object. Now, this up here is, of course, a JSON back reference. So again, we're going to annotate the hash with that. Now we want to go in and we are going to be making a quest repository in here as well. That will just simply take in a quest and a this DTO object is going to come down into the source main Java OSB HTTP DTOs. We're going to drop the quest DTO in here so that we can come up to this quest DTO and move it because we don't want it there. Services. We're going to be looking now for the quest service. This one here, we're just going to copy over, do a little paste, work some magic. We'll add it to the repository. This is going to be out of there. This is going to be at required args constructor. And we're going to import this, import this, import that. Okay. Import the logger. Rest of that will be used later. So now we're looking to map this to the new quest dot from model object. If I take a look at that, and we are going to steal this in a services class here. I say private from model. Yo, that's just gonna pull it. Make this a little bit cleaner to follow. Replace this with Lambda. Alright, so now we got this. Replace this with making sure that the list is not empty, and it is cleaner. So now if we look at this, we take a look at the quest list. So long as it's not null and it's not empty, we're going to return a map of this that we are going to take back into a list. Perfect. So now that that's all unused, we now need to go into our quest controller. Here's where we're going to make quest controllers. Okay, so this is going to be API v1 slash player slash quest, I suppose. We'll go with that. I'm good. I'm actually pretty okay with that. So let's come up here and let's clean up some shit. And import this. Discord alert services. That is something that we can make a post to. Let's grab this. Let's grab this so that we have this. So get mapping. We want to be able to get the quests for a specific player. So get quests slash, we're going to say slash the quests, do this, and then we're going to say slash player, so that we know that we're getting this quest for a specific player. Post. We should make a post with the slash player name. Technically, we can. Yeah, no, we'll do that. Discord alert, which is a var, developer alert, auger, sent. Okay, so if this is sent, but technically we're looking to there was an update alert and we're looking to do this. So we're going to be taking the service out altogether. That's not going to equal that, don't worry. Coming through. This is going to be here. REST client, which means I'm going to be coming into here, copying this into here. Select, come into here, make it private. REST client. And then we come down here and make a post to the Discord alert service. Just gotta double check the controller. See what else is using this. Okay, so we were using this to send. Okay, so I need to copy this. So this is going to be an error. So here we're going to say REST client dot post dot URL, which is essentially that dot content type is media application JSON. Take an API key as a header. Keys or resources in here. Binary web token. Python auto wire no type. Alright, so this quest, so the quest service that we just built, the quest controller, is going to be API v1 player quest. You'll be able to put in a player name slash player to retrieve a quest list of a player, a list of the quests from the player. Next will be to post a quest. This will be to so if they post that API key, that's going to be if they post a bad API key, it's going to be unauthorized. If they post an empty they post a no content, basically, they're going to return no content. Otherwise, we're going to get a hash. We're going to look for the list. We're going to go to here. We're going to get the player's list of quest list based off of their hash. We're going to come back and check it. If we have it, we're going to We're going to make sure we update that list. If it's been updated, good. Otherwise, we're going to create a new quest list. So in this action, we're actually going to be looking to have a API request in the header, have a string name in there as well, and we also need to request a list of do that /update, I suppose, player name /update, player name /player, just so that it will update or get. Now, when we come down to it, when we come through it, we're going to be posting an alert. We want to come through here and check and see again, unauthorized, no content, get a list of the services. If the list is not null, we want to go ahead and do something. Otherwise, the list was null, and it will do this, and it will return a response entity. Otherwise, if something else happens to go sideways, then we're going to build an alert, and then we're going to post that alert, which will more or less send off a message to my Discord alerting me of whatever the hell is going on. Yes, erosion. I am. If I say that right, if I say that wrong, I apologize. I am still here. Still hard at it, still doing this, getting this ready. I've got my server launching on the 25th, so I'm trying to wrap up a few things before I launch. So on here, I'm looking to just make my quest service so that this will allow me to update and store quest information. I am taking the data objects here to make the quest DTOs. We are having our quest object to store into our database. Service layer, which accesses the database, transfers the object, handles creating lists and whatnot. To get this all cleaned up and looking a little better, because I personally just want it to be an easy read. I just like to have this stuff as an easy read for myself. And these are parts that are going to be used later on. They're just not quite used at the moment. But now that I've got that cleaned up, a little bit easier to look at, we got the controller, which is going through, and that looks pretty damn great as it is as well. Right, so that's the player's quest controller, or the quest service done. That was quite painless. Next, we need to rip another service. The next service that we're going to be looking to rip from our existing monolithic program is going to be that of the skills. So we're going to close this, we're going to open up the skill controller. We're going to go into the skill tree, and holy sweet mother, we're going to open up the skill tree, the skill task repository, skill tree, and skill tree repository. After that, we're going to go up, take a look at the skill trees up here, and we're going to see that we have the DTO, and service. So these are going to be the next things that we're going to be looking to rip from the old controller into the old system into our new system. This is just the monolithic back end of our horrible monolithic back end of our old system. So we're going to start this out by going over some of the skill. So we're gonna, first off, we need to make another module. This one's just going to be a straight up new module. We're going to call this one HTTP REST layer skill. And this is going to be a Java Maven 21. Parent is backend. Sample code. Why not? Artifact ID. We'll fix that up as we go. Um, no. And we're good. Alright. So now we're going to come into our skill. Yup, yup. We're going to go ahead and drop that main.java. Down here, we're going to say dependencies. Drop that, come up here, I'm going to come into this, and I am going to drop in the Boneyard backend one so that we have access to those DTOs. Next, we're going to come into here, and I believe it was by practice of play a quest, so this would be package player dot skill. From here, we're going to have package controllers, data, and we're going to have services. Now, I did do it like this so that I can just simply refactor these and move them. You don't necessarily have to do that like I did. I'm going to copy this, drop it here, and call this player skill services. And that's going to be our parent client there. So now inside of controllers, we are going, not sorry, not inside of controllers, inside of data, and I'm actually going to make another one here for repos, because this is going to have a couple of repositories in it, not just the one. So we're going to look at skill, skilling task, and skill tree for data. So we're going to drop these bad boys in here. Take a look into skill at first, make sure it is, of course, an entity. I don't know why we have a required args constructor in there, but this is going to be equal to that of skill. It's going to be a table. This is going to be a sequence generator. The name of this is going to be something to the effect of, I don't know. This will be Boneyard skill generator, I guess. The calculation size is going to be 1, just to make it a bit easier. Sequence name is also Boneyard skill generator law. Alright, so this is a Jackson back. Yeah, JSON back reference. jump into the skilling task, and we're going to be pretty much doing the same idea of, I mean, I want to be lazy and not do this, but like, uh, yeah, skill tree, same thing, except this will be skill tree. Okay, so there's the getter, the setters, da 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 da. There's all of that. Now I gotta grab the repositories. We're gonna jump those boys into the repository. And now we just might need to import, import, and import. There we go. So there's the skill tree, data, and the repositories. Next, there is the DTOs, or data transfer objects, which we're going to drop in here. Okay. So those are those done. So now we can come back up into our controller. And this time we're looking for the skill tree controller. So we're going to drop this bad boy in, and then we're going to go ahead and make some modifications to it. For example, we're not going to have the uh, all args constructor. We're simply going to have required args constructor. We're going to come up here and we got to get rid of some of these so that we can bring in our proper skill tree service. I don't think I pulled that yet. I didn't pull the skill tree service yet, so we got to jump into here and pull this one. Except again, this is not going to have that. It's actually going to have the required args constructor. We are going to organize our imports. Da, 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 da. Import, 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 import. Okay. Import. Pull that in. Good. Drawing details. There we go. Okay, so now we have the controller done. But now we're going to go with, again, API, v1, player, skill tree. We're going to drop in our actual Boneyard API key. This we're going to drop up here, although it doesn't look like that's actually used, so we'll get rid of it. So now we want to have a post. We're going to change this up to a put. Put mapping is going to be the one that's going to update said skill tree. Go. Double check this here, and if the API key is bad, then it's unauthorized. If the content is done, then there's no content, then there's no content. Skill tree, you're going to find the skill tree. If the skill tree is not null, go ahead and update it. Responsive updated. Created. I'm just going to go ahead and actually call that okay. Otherwise not acceptable. Post, fetch this. So this looks like, I gotta try to remember what I did like fucking 2 or 3 years ago when I started this. So this looks like it's a get method. Yeah, it's like a get mapping. I think I'm gonna keep it the same thing, slash player name. Taking the player's name, and again, unauthorized. Otherwise, there's no content. Okay, otherwise we're going to grab that. We're going to grab the skill tree based on the name. If the skill tree is not null, we're going to have a collection of existing skills from here. Drop this over here so that we can make that a little bit neater. And of course, we'll make this stuff a little bit neater. And if all of this goes through, we're going to return the skill DTO and okay, otherwise bad request, otherwise not found. Okay. Clean that up, that looks a lot better. Okay, so that looks better for skill tree controller, so I can go to API v1 player skill tree to upload this. Perfect. So that takes care of adding our skill tree service and our player quest service. Now, you'll see that I do have this applications here. We're going to drop this one down in here, and we're going to go ahead and call this 8090. True, boom, quest, skills, skill, perfect. Alright. So now if we go ahead and run our player's quest services, that should give us a second, then add another service to our list. After a moment here. Yeah, no, I can't be lazy about most shit, but I'm trying to not be. What do you mean you can't find a string? Class frame controller. Ugh. And this is why I don't use all ARG's constructors. prefer to use just required args constructor. Um, Try that again. Well, I thought I actually had that in there. Apparently not. Look at that. So let's go rip that out of here. Drop you in there. Drop you in there. Quest controller, that's now active. There we go. So nice. Yeah, trying. Dude, if I could explain my week to you, man, like it's been a nightmare. Like I meant to live stream a couple of days ago, but I couldn't live stream because my roommate, my roommate, oh my God. I almost need to go get another cup of coffee just to even tell you this story. But okay. So back before Christmas, my wife and I wanted to get our roommate out of our house because she became a complete and utter, for lack of better term, bitch. Um, and like I've met some bitchy people in my life, and they don't even compare. This one here is like a 10-year-old child who you just took away their favorite thing. Like the only thing I can think about is you took away an iPod from a kid, and or took away something from a child and they throw a temper tantrum. That is the closest I can come to describing this. Um, and she lost her keys to her car or misplaced them. And because she misplaced them, she thought that I had stole them or had them. So she was blaming me and tearing me a new one and ripping and raging from through ripping me a new one just completely. And then she magically finds her keys in her room where she misplaced them. And instead of owning up to it and, being like, sorry, I misplaced my keys, I apologize. No, she was too scared to apologize to me. So instead, she said some sort of half-ass apology to my wife to sort of proxy to me. And when I had sent her a message saying, I'm glad you found your keys. I normally feel pretty bad myself if I lose them. I try to keep them in one place so I know where they are, yada yada, relate to her. And then I explained that I felt a little attacked in all of this. Bitch came out like a fucking grizzly bear, ripping me and my wife a new one, saying that she can't handle us coming at her through DM and social media. So she decides to rip us a new one that my it's my fault that she doesn't drive her car, and apparently it's my fault that when we're in the car, she doesn't listen to her music, because, quite frankly, her music is like Tears in My Beers, Why Is the Breakup, Woe Is Me, not road trip music, but she plays these slow, crappy songs, and I'm sorry, I don't like that. I'm not for a road trip. Um, but we apparently it's my fault that she never gets to listen to that. She never gets to do that, and it's my fault that her and my wife apparently can never play board games or never do this and that and the other thing because if I personally don't feel like it, apparently the whole house can't. She made me out to be this fucking monster that I'm not. She attacked my wife, calling her all these other names, which I point stepped in and told her to get the fuck out of my house. I kind of lost it at her, but went a little overboard myself, I'm not gonna lie. But at the end of the point is I couldn't walk away, and I wasn't supposed to just walk away from my house. Like, I wanted that bitch out of my sight. Like, I just get the fuck out of my house. I can't leave, I'm not leaving. You don't fucking own this place. Get the fuck out. She took it as I was apparently attacking her life and I was threatening her, so she uh, put up a fucking pissy storm. And so after Christmas, my wife and I sent her a text message very nicely saying that, we can no longer live together. I'm sorry to hear about this, but like, can you please leave by the end of January? And we were giving her the end up till the end of the month ago. No. She fucking literally came back like a fucking grizzly bear again, saying, no, no, you're not getting me out. You can't kick me out. I pay rent, yada yada. I have calling squatters' rights, this, that, and the other thing. It's gonna take you like 4 fucking months to get me out of here, and like yada yada yada. Turned out to me that that night I came home in a fucking tear. I called the cops. I was trying to get her out of here. I called the non-emergency cops to see what I could do. She went ahead and called 911, saying that I was threatening her life, saying that I was doing this and that. Like, I was the again, I laughed while she was talking to the cops, and then afterwards, I got on the phone with the same cop and explained things to him, and he's like, "Oh, you can go to the tenancy board and get her out rather quickly." And I was like, "Oh, dude, thank you. That's mint, perfect. I'm going there on Monday." And I guess she overheard, and she didn't seem too happy with that. But whatever, fuck her. And then we keep our peace. We stay away from each other. And then just the other day, she decides that she wants to go and get her winter summer tires out of my basement. So because we backed her car up to my back door, because we kind of have the driveway, and then you drive a little bit to get to my back door. Um, in December, when the ground was hard and dry, I decided to back her four-wheel drive car up to my back door to unload the summer tires. She decides that because we did that in the fall when it was dry and hard, that she could go out there while it was soft, wet, covered in snow, and she thought that was the same perfectly fine thing. She wound up backing herself up, spinning her tires, digging up my front lawn, got her car stuck, backed it out, ripped through another part of my yard, tore it all to shit, wound up burying her car, like right to the frame, buried it, spinning mud, ruining my lawn. She had a tow truck come in with a flatbed truck come in to drag her fat ass out of my yard. And I come out with a camera. I got this all on video. Like, if you guys want to see this, let me know. I'll show you it on Discord. This bitch fucking. I came out and I was showing like this video with this bitch fucking buried in my yard with a tow truck, and I come out here and go, "What the hell did you do to my yard?" She's there like a 10-year-old child. "Oh, don't talk to me. I had no choice but to do this." It's like, you had no choice, dear. You could have fucking taken the car tires from the backyard and rolled them across the driveway up until you get in the driveway. Why did you back your fucking car up over my grass? Why did you bury your car in my lawn? So I wind up calling the cops again to have them show up at the house. She winds up going off on them about the fact, trying to say that my car is unregistered and all this other thing about me, and calls me out of my person, like tears my character down to like the lowest. She knew something rather intimate about me because I have a medical condition which is I have stomach paralysis. I have nerve damage throughout my body, and as a result of that, personally, I wear diapers to bed because I can't always control myself due to the fact that I have nerve damage throughout my body. She decides to announce to the whole fucking neighborhood that I'm some diaper wearing piece of shit that does nothing but lug shit through the house and all this other things. And she's trying to call out saying that our basement is this, that, and the other thing. She even says my lawn is a piece of shit because there's shit all over my lawn. And I'm sorry, I have a dog and it's been like fucking covered in snow the last fucking month and a half. Like, my dog goes out, takes a shit, it's buried in snow, and 2 minutes later, like, I'm not digging up my yard of snow just to pick up the little pieces of shit. No, I'm gonna wait till the fucking spring comes and let that shit melt and pick it up, and I'll take care of it then. She fucking went off, tries, like, she has nothing to fucking hold on to, but she's digging for straws to hold on to, saying she's gonna, like, fuck. She called the cops numerous times, like, not even just a non-emergency, but she dials 911 to tell them that I'm here threatening her life. I locked her out of the house and all this other stuff. When the cops showed up, like, again, I have this all on camera, like, all videotaped. If you guys want to see it, just let me know. I'll show it. I have no problem with that. Um, this girl, like, she literally was yelling at the cops to the point where the cops were yelling back at her to shut up. She was trying to, like, grasp at anything she could to pick at my character to make me look bad. And the whole reason the cops showed up was because I wanted to know how I could go about suing her for ripping up my front lawn. And she tried to keep them here for all these other reasons and whatnot. And then the cops get an emergency get an emergency call. There is a structure fire with people inside. The house was burning with people inside. The cop comes in, tells us, "Okay, guys, I'm sorry, I gotta go. There's a structure fire, people trapped. We have to go." My wife and I were like, "All right, officer, go ahead, leave. We'll message if we need anything, or we'll call if we need anything." Fucking bitch is there, still trying to keep up a conversation with him, trying to keep the cop there, and we're like, "Okay, like, they've got an emergency to go to. Just let them go, save lives." And she's still there trying to fight him to sit here and, like, fight this conversation, and she's, like, yelling at him, and the cop fucking hollers back at her like, "You have to calm down and shut the hell up. We have to go." And it's like, honestly, like, this bitch has been, like, trying to come back to my house. Like, I've been looking to get a restraining order on her. Like, I'm terrified to have her near my property on my house. Like, I haven't been able to do my live streams lately because, like, she's been in and out of the house, and, like, I couldn't be on a live stream and have her fucking barging through my house like a fucking wild hurricane. Like, I apologize for not live streaming the last couple of days, guys. It's been a little hectic, but bitch is gone, so I can get back to a normal routine and get back to a normal thing. Um, and I don't even know how to handle this. Like, she's like, everybody I tell this story to and show these videos to, they just laugh. Like, this is like a 10-year-old child on a fucking temper tantrum. Like, it's just been a fucking shit show of a week, guys. I'm really sorry for not being more active and not being more available, but I just, between her, cops, and reports, and progress on this game, and everything, it's just been so hectic. So, to jump back to the code here, that's my story of the week. Like, holy shit, it's been a nightmare, guys. Like, I'm just glad that it's over. She's gone. My wife and I are back to normal. My dog's even happier now that the bitch is gone. It's great. Um, so yeah, now I've added in a 10th and 11th services now in total. Um, now that we have quests and skills. Let's just fire up the skills one to make sure that works too. Appreciate that, Tyler. There we go. Another service on. So now we've got our website. We'll call that service 0. And we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. So there is our 11 services that we broke down from our monolithic backend. So now everything should work, except I have to change a couple of little UI paths, or URL paths from the game server. From the game server, we'll have to change a couple of these URL paths and a couple of these methods just so that they'll match up with the new ones. And we're also going to clean these up because these are horrible old school methods for getting and posting, and they're going to be more modernized and cleaned up so to be looking a little bit better like these. However, I think I'm going to actually call this one because it's kind of getting late. I'm kind of tired as hell. It's been a really long day. She showed up today out of the blue with a fucking U-Haul and some random guy to help her take shit, and like she didn't even take everything. She took majority of her stuff. She left some piece of shit desk in her room. She left fucking from the door to the wall and about, I don't know, a foot high, 2 feet out from the wall of just a pile of garbage and then a busted mirror on the side. Like, when she showed up at the house, she didn't even knock, come in. She just fucking opened the door and walked on in like she owned the place. Didn't say hi, didn't speak a word to my wife or I. She just fucking back and forth, left the thing. Didn't even take her fucking shoes off today. Like, the bitch literally hiked mud and snow and salt all through my house. Like, I have animals here. You want to hike this fucking salt through this house? That shit's gonna hurt my animals' paws when they walk through that. Like, that's gonna burn them. Like, fuck you. Take your goddamn shoes off at the front door and go fuck yourself. Sorry for cursing so much, guys. I do apologize. This woman just got really far under my skin. But she spent about 3 hours in the house today, coming back and forth, leaving a huge mess throughout my house, and, like, didn't even get all of her stuff, left a whole bunch of garbage, and didn't tell us that she was leaving. It wasn't until we just happened to hear the U-Haul door slam that we look outside and notice, okay, she's leaving. She didn't tell us she was done. Left a shit ton of stuff around. Like, left a whole bunch of garbage in the room. Like, I'm fucking livid. Like, yeah, I'm gonna call tonight's live stream a little short on this one. Tomorrow, I'll be feeling a little bit better. I'll be feeling a lot more me tomorrow, and we'll uh, we'll make the two Boneyard clients, one for the skill tree, one for the network, one for the quests. And then after we're done with that, we'll go hop onto my VPS and we will install Kafka, get the port number that we need, go back to the game server, and we'll set up a couple of things to be posting to the Kafka server. And then we will change the backend so that it's listening to the Kafka server and pulling information from there. But as for tonight, we've now got our quest service is done and our skill tree service done, so we can post our skill trees. So our skill trees can be saved to our backend, which is also going to allow me to. I'm going to have to make a couple of changes to my game client because I use RuneLite, and I have the RuneLite plugins, the high score plugins, grabbing from my backend. So I make a couple of changes to my client as well, which will might run over that as well on tomorrow's stream, depending on how things go. But hopefully, Tyler, that the days will get better from here. I mean, I can only go upward now, right? Oh man, like Like, seriously, anybody who wants to see some of these videos, man, just message me on Discord and I'll send them to you. They're out there. She's got she literally has a Chevy Equinox. So if you know how high up off the ground a Chevy Equinox is, it's got a good little bit of lift to it. She buried that to the frame in my yard and continued to spin tires and throw mud. Like, I got a video of my yard with fucking trenches that are literally like they literally go. I put my fist in the water, and then, like, it literally comes to here on me. Like, it's ridiculous. Like, how deep these trenches are that she left in my yard, and now I've of course got to fucking take care of them. That's probably not going to happen now till spring because we got winter looking to fuck us over for a few days, bury us in, and that couldn't have came today. Like, we get some nasty weather coming tomorrow, and I don't wish bad on most people, anybody for that matter, except this one woman, for lack of a better term. And thank you guys for listening to me rant for the last little bit. This has been I haven't been able to talk physically about this because she's literally her room she was renting is the other side of my office, and like I haven't been able to speak to anybody about this because my walls she would have heard me, and I didn't want to open up that can of worms. I've been texting a few people here and there, messaging on Discord and like sharing stories and things, but like, wow. Oh yeah, it's gonna take me a long time to get that yard fixed, and like we're suing her for the damage of the yard because there's no way that's coming out of my pocket. And the worst part is, she tried to claim that she had no other option. She didn't ask me for help. She didn't ask my wife for help. She didn't try taking the tires from the basement and just rolling them across the yard to the driveway. She had no option but to back her car over my yard and get them. Like, I don't even know how to express my frustration with that other than just like having an aneurysm, because like that level of stupidity just hurts. Anyway, that's enough of me ranting on this, guys. I'm sure that's not why my subscribers come to my videos to see me rant about my idiot roommates. However, I mean, if you want, join me on Discord, and I will share you all the stupidity you got or you want. Oh man, some people shouldn't even be allowed outside of their doors, actually. And the worst part is, my wife and I took her in when she had nothing. She burned some bridges in Halifax. She had forced herself out to New Brunswick, where she burned some bridges, hooked up with a guy, lost that guy, got kicked out of the place she was staying in, and was now stuck to either living in her car or on the street. So my wife and I said, well, if you can make it here to Nova Scotia, we have a spare room and we'll put you up. You don't have to stay in your car. We thought we were being nice. And for about a year, we got along great. Um, we had a great summer. It was good times. We were all friends because we were all poor as fuck in the same bucket, in the same boat. And then all of a sudden, her father passed away. When her father passed away, he left her money. She came into said money, and her true colors came out. She no longer needed help. She no longer needed the people that were there to support her. She no longer needed our help. So she became this sucking bitch, for lack of a better term, who thought she was better than everybody and better than all the people that she was with. So she completely and utterly burned and torched the bridges that she had with my wife and I. And I went from wishing her the most and wishing her success to now I wish her the absolute worst. I hope she gets into a car accident and ruins the nice little car that she has bought herself. I wish that she gets herself into some financial trouble that she can't get herself out of. I really wish that when she has to return to work, that job that I got her will fuck her over and fire her ass because she's a fucking idiot. But anyway, again, this is not about ripping somebody apart. This was about code. And if you want to join me on my next stream, go ahead and subscribe, and you'll be notified when I go live again. I feel like we're on Discord together, Tyler, but if not, send me a message. Like, we need to hook up on Discord and chat. But anyway, guys, I'm gonna call this one, and I will be on to live stream tomorrow, where we will add some Boneyard clients to the quest and the skills, and then we'll go ahead and fire up that Kafka server and get things set up for a message broker. If you enjoyed my rant today, go ahead and hit the thumbs up. If you need to drop some toxic bitch from your life, go ahead and hit that thumbs up as well. I'm sure we've all got that one person in our life. Anyway, guys, it's been real. It's been fun. Keep that coffee cup full. Keep that curiosity open. Keep your skills sharp. I'll catch you in the next one, guys. Thanks for watching.